Hey guys, Steven here back with another video, and today I'm making my most requested video ever. It's how to get media passes for events like NBA games, concerts, festivals, stuff like that. So I have all my media passes right here. And this one just recently, it's from the Toronto Raptors game. I'm not sure if it's too shiny, but I'm literally gonna go through all of them and talk about how I got each and every one of them, because when I wanted to shoot concerts, it was a big goal of mine last year, and obviously I've achieved some sort of success in getting into them. I just want to go through it because I didn't know what to do. Like I used to think, oh, email a bunch of people, they'll get back to you and you'll get into the show. But even now, I don't really know. Well, I do know how to get into shows. It's just I haven't consistently gotten into shows, if that makes sense. A lot of these media passes is through finessing the system, you know, like knowing someone or sneaking in or something like that. So I'm really gonna just talk about my journey with this and how you can also get an opportunity to shoot your favorite artist. So if you guys enjoy this video and want more videos like this, hit the thumbs up button. Let's get straight into it. So before I talk about how to get a media pass, I think you guys should watch how I got followed by Post Malone. I'll leave it in the description. But basically, that's my first show ever that I ever shot, and I got really lucky with that, and Post Malone ended up following me on Twitter. So basically, I'm gonna just explain the process of getting media pass. I used to think if you emailed like an opener or a DJ or an artist directly, that was the way to do it. But I've slowly realized that it's hit or miss with that, and if you want a more consistent method of getting into these shows, you will have to work for a media outlet, especially if you don't know anyone in this music industry and don't know any of the performers or the management or anything like that. You need to work for a media outlet. So when I say this to people in a reply to their DMs, they don't really know what a media outlet is. So basically, a media outlet is something like a magazine, a blog, a publication, you know, like something that covers news and has a platform. So if you're looking to get into concerts and stuff like that, so music-based stuff, you want to target radio stations. So that's how I got into Travis Scott, through a radio station, magazines that cover music, blogs that cover music, and that sort of stuff. So in that aspect, you will have to, you know, send out emails and stuff like that. Before, I was sending out emails to artists directly, their management, stuff like that, but they probably get so many people requesting for that sort of stuff. It isn't a good use of your time. I'd rather target these media outlets, because media outlets will get access to events, like every event essentially. So there's two main groups of people who get passes to these type of things. So the first one is, or actually there's three groups. So the first is the promotion company who's putting the whole event together. So usually this is Live Nation. In Toronto, there's promotion company called Rap Season and Side Stage Presents. These are the people who promote the event and put it together. Usually they already have photographers and stuff like that, but if you do have connection with someone who works at a promotion company, that would be a good look. The second group is the people who are actually performing or have like a performance, yeah. So like DJs, the openers, so the openers being like smaller artists that perform before the headliner, and then the headliner, which is the main artist, the people, like the reason people actually go into the show, and that's about it. So the reason why media outlets get access to these events is because they provide coverage to, you know, thousands, millions of people, and they need these photos in order to provide some sort of coverage, right? They're not just going to make a blog post or something like that without photos. And on the artist side, why would an artist team need these photos? It's free photos, free coverage on a blog, on a magazine, on a radio station. So why not get the free publicity, right? And yeah, that's basically how you get a media pass. You have to contact a media outlet. I'm just going to be talking about everything else now. So I have a list right here. There's a rule for media passes. Like if you have a media pass and you bring in your camera, first, you cannot use flash. Most of the times, you cannot use flash. So the reason is I actually have no idea, because fans hold up their cameras with, you know, flashlight on all the time when they record, you know, videos and stuff like that, if you ever see people in the crowd. So I'm not sure why that is, but yeah, I don't know why. It also may be distracting if you see like a bunch of photographers just using flash, maybe. That's probably why. Another thing is that people with media passes, first, they're only in the media pit, so they do not have backstage access or access anywhere else other than the media pit. So the media pit is usually in front of the front row. So the people closest up, you're in front of them. With bigger tours and events like you know, the Drake tour or the Travis Scott Astroworld tour, you maybe put the sound box, or where the big speakers and where the sound's coming from, the soundboard, I think that's what it's called. So for me, when I did Travis Scott, it was weird location because we were there was 2 stages and we were on the stage that he wasn't. With stuff like that, it's a little bit more tricky and you will need a longer lens. And I heard with the people who did the Drake tour, at least in Toronto, they were in the wheelchair section. Sometimes people are even in the mosh pit with their cameras. So with bigger events, it's a little harder, but with smaller venues, there's a media pit usually. Same thing with festivals, you may not have a media pit. So media is only in the pit and they can only shoot the first 3 songs. I think the reason why is they don't want the publications to have more content than the artist does. And I think 3 songs is enough to get enough content to make a blog post about it or something like that. So usually it's 3 songs. With Travis Scott, I got lucky. It was like 5 songs because the person who was supervising us was a little nicer. I always get this question, do you get to watch afterwards? Like after those 3 songs, are you able to just put your camera away and watch? So this is tricky because I don't have a real like solid answer, because with some venues, there's really 3 different ways to go with this. So for Travis Scott, or I think bigger events maybe, they just kick you out. If you have a ticket, they'll let you in, obviously, because you have a ticket and you put your camera to code check or something like that. But usually with bigger events, they kick you out after the first 3 songs. The second thing is they'll make you put your camera in code check. So this has happened maybe 20% of the time. And then the rest of the percentages goes to them just letting you shoot, but not in the media pit. So they'll let you roam around with your cameras, but not in the media pit. So there's a venue in Toronto called Rebel, where it's probably like 3rd biggest venue behind the Scotiabank Arena, which is where Drake and Travis Scott perform and stuff like that. But in Rebel, they allow you to just use your camera afterwards. And that's pretty good because Rebel has the mid-tier artists like Tory Lanez, her, Bryson Tiller, Black, stuff like that. So it's great that you can shoot these artists even more than just the first 3 songs. With Travis Scott, I only did the first 3 songs. So I actually had all access to 2 events. So the first one was Roy Woods, and the second one was Killy. Oh, actually 3, and Daniel Caesar as well. How I got those 3 is for Daniel Caesar, it was a university event. So university was putting it together. So I would highly recommend you try to reach out to people running these university events and try to get to shoot these performances, because they're a lot easier because a big promotion company isn't handling everything, it's students. So how I got Daniel Caesar was through the DJ that I knew, but now I can just contact the school directly, or like the people running it in the school. So I was about to shoot Nav. I had to go to Shanghai, but I got that through just emailing them, like the student council or union or whatever. I'm trying to find the Daniel Caesar. So I don't think I have the Killy one because sometimes they don't give you a lanyard. They give you like a wristband. Usually, for some reason, I used to get a lot of lanyards, but now I get a lot of wristbands, but that's weird. So you can see here, it says A-Team All Access. So this is Daniel Caesar, and this is at Laurier University in Waterloo, Ontario. So this is through the university. So A-Team is like the little group in the school that runs these events. So now I know the DJ and the people running the events. So now what I can say if I want to shoot other university events is, yo, I shot for this university, can I shoot for you guys? So that's how I shot Tory Lanez last weekend, actually, because I just emailed them, the student union, and I got in. Unfortunately, I did not get to shoot Tory Lanez. I shot the openers because I had to go to a Raptors game. So where's that? I have so many things scrambled up here. But here, this is the Raptors game. So this is the same day as I was shooting Tory Lanez, and that was at Ryerson University. But it was at Rebel, but it was hosted by Ryerson University. So there was no promotion company telling me or handling the media. You know, it was just students. I think they accepted everybody who applied for Media Pass. So usually it's on a website, or it's on their Facebook about section, or it's up in their Instagram about section, or it's on their on their website or something like that, right? So so Daniel Caesar, I got that. And what's crazy about this is I was only there for like 30 minutes. I had all access, but it was a school night, and this place this university was like an hour and a half away, and so I came home really late, even though I didn't even shoot for that long. And I think it's one of my favorite photos. Turned out, in this little thing, this concert, and it was great. The other one is Roy Woods. This is my favorite media pass because it's so clean. So this was the Say Less tour, and I got this through the guy who was running the after party, and he knows people within Roy Woods camp. So I was able to do that. So I also shot Tory Lanez another instance, and he got me into that as well. So usually it's the opposite, where you work for media outlet and then you make these connections, but I had these connections before I started. So a lot of the events that I got into at the beginning were because I knew people, but now I can get into these events by myself. So there's another one, I think it was a Strata event, which is like, it has to do with cars or something. I really don't know about cars, but there's an event, they had like a season closer, and so I had a backstage pass. This was Baka Not Nice, Young Tory 24 Hours. And yeah, so I knew the guy who was hosting it and had the mic. He was the MC. So it was the same guy who got me into Tory Lanez and Roy Woods, right? And I was able to shoot that, and Welcome OVO actually reposted my stuff because Baka is part of OVO. That's really dope. So actually the Roy Woods show actually led me to getting all access to the Killy event, because the person who was doing the set design there found my Instagram and hit me up and wanted me to shoot the Killy one because he was doing the set design for Killy as well. So that's cool. So let's get back on track with helping you guys specifically. Things to keep in mind: not all media outlets gets a media pass. So I've been running a media company, or like a news company, for a bit now, and through that process of applying to get media passes, not everybody gets a media pass. Only the big and respected media outlets get one. So there's actually a lot of promotion companies that don't care about how big a certain media outlet is, but they care how respected they are and if they're reputable. So there's actually something called the Comeup Show, which is a very small media outlet. They have like 2,000 followers on Instagram, but they get into most events. So that just goes to show that you don't have to be working for a Complex or a Hype Beast or something to get into these events. I wouldn't even contact those people because they already have their set photographers. So I would find smaller ones actually. Also, each media outlet usually gets just one photographer. So keep that in mind. If you already see a media outlet with a photographer, then probably don't contact them, because that's just a waste of time, because they wouldn't even be able to get you in. The thing with the Travis Scott thing was that I was actually not their main photographer for that media outlet. I was actually the backup, and that guy who was their main photographer wasn't in the province at the time, so I got to shoot that. But I think for the upcoming show, he will be shooting that, and for every other upcoming show. But if he's gone, then I got to take his place. So with ASAP Rocky, he was there, and I was really sad, but he got to shoot it, so I was happy for him. Another thing is, these things are usually not paid unless you actually have a very strong relationship with the media outlet, and especially if they're bigger. If they're bigger, then they'll pay. So Travis Scott, I got paid like $75, which isn't a lot, but honestly, I shot for like 30 minutes, so maybe it is, but I had to travel all the way to Toronto from the suburbs. So but yeah, most of the time it's free, but I realized over time that I was so excited for these things, I didn't really care about the pay. So if you actually really like concerts and stuff like that, then it shouldn't really be an issue. Unless you want to get paid for it, then you should try to create connections with bigger outlets, because those are the people that are going to be able to pay. Like the Comeup Show doesn't pay me to shoot these events, so yeah. Also, Instagram accounts are not media outlets. Like if you know a person with a big hip-hop Instagram page, that does not count. It has to be real publications that have been around for a long time and that post news, not just like DJ Academics. Although DJ Academics could probably get into these events, but it has to be like an actual publication. So basically, to get into these events, create a list of media outlets you want to work for, email them, and hope you get a response. That's literally it. I haven't even done that at this point. I've literally just got lucky with a lot of this stuff, and somehow I met someone who has an association with a media outlet, but you want a cold email, especially if you don't know anyone. And also, if you're a freelance photographer, you need to build a portfolio. And also, you cannot just email someone without work. You need to show them work. So how you build work without going, paying to get into these concerts and shooting it or getting a media pass is go to the free events. There's a lot of free events that run. Maybe not in your city, maybe in a city close to you or something like that, or a bigger city if you're in the suburbs. So in Toronto, there's a lot of free events during the summer. There's festivals that you can apply to that are very easy to get into. Just shoot those. That can be your portfolio until you get a smaller show. You have to start with smaller shows because that's the only way you're going to get portfolio work. Once you get your portfolio and everything, then you can start sending out emails. I think my biggest advice for you guys is contact universities. I think that's the easiest target because a lot of artists come through, especially during the first week of school, because they want to promote everything. I don't know, there's just a lot of events during that first week. Homecoming, there's a lot of events. I've shot like 5 different university events. It was super easy to get into, like no hassle. I might be doing one on the 31st as well. And second, do festivals because festivals are a little bit easier and there's a bunch of artists, so you will have a lot of content to shoot. So the first one I did had K-Trana, Post Malone. It was supposed to have Tyler the Creator, but he didn't show up or something. I don't know. But there's a lot of artists there. For that reason, I got a lot of content and it built my portfolio at first. Even though I didn't go to like multiple events, I just went to one and I had enough for my portfolio. Essentially, with like Raptor games and like NBA games, it's similar, except you have to find a media outlet that has to do with sports. So like Bleacher Report, Slam Magazine, stuff like that will get you in. Just find a smaller one. So there's actually one called Good Sport that's based in like Europe or something, and my friend actually gets into NBA games through that, and we're from like North America, so it doesn't actually have to be a local media outlet. It just has to be a good one. Like I think my friend's getting into Travis Scott and he's doing it through a media company in LA, and then we're from Toronto, right? So it doesn't have to be from around your area. Honestly, contact every single radio station because they have a lot of clout, but they don't use it because people listen to hip hop music on the station, on the radio station sometimes. So contact those, right? So like this was the FIBA qualifiers. It's like Team Canada, Team USA, or whatever. I got that through my friend who just knew someone, so that was lucky. This one too, another media one. This is VIP, so I didn't shoot this one. I just got VIP. And a lot of this is through my management team that I work for called Rose Management. We deal with NBA players, so the last Raptors game I did was through them. So if you look at this, I'm not sure if it shows up, but it has Rose Management somewhere here. So a lot of the NBA stuff is through my manager. He doesn't even get it that often, and he knows NBA players. Like he knows a bunch of them. So with the sporting stuff, it's a little harder because you have to be up there. But with concerts, because there's not as many people, it's a lot easier to get into. Especially the university ones, where it's not as big of an event. And yeah, that's basically it. A lot of the other ones are just wristbands that I can't show because I threw them away. But yeah, hopefully this helps you out a little bit. I know this was a really requested video, and I'm just really pissed off because I don't think this whole video was centered. I think it was too much this side, and it's cheesing me. That's why I've been looking here. This is my monitor. I've been looking there the whole time. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this video. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them in the comment section. Yeah, my name's Steven, and I'll see you in the next one.